For 44 years, I disappeared into depression every single winter. Imagine being locked inside a metal coffin, thrown into the ocean, not drowning, not rescued, just trapped, day after day with no way out. That's horrible, eh? That's how I felt for most of my life. Not for a week, not for a year, but for decades. For 44 years, I lived with a tortured mind inside that coffin. Every winter, it got worse. The cold, the darkness, the endless gray sky. It felt like the lid closed tighter, like my soul was wrapped in wet concrete. You wake up tired and you stay tired. And I thought this was just who I was, and there was nothing I can do about it. But then I discovered something that changed everything. See, depression grows in thoughts that you don't even realize you're having. Tiny background sentences running all the time, saying, I can't handle this, nothing feels good, what's the point? Each one feels small, logic even, but together they build the walls of that coffin. So here's the shift. Thoughts are the volume knobs on your feelings. Let me say that again. Thoughts are the volume knobs on your feelings. Some feelings come from your body or your hormones, but the story you tell yourself can amplify them or turn the volume down. So when you catch destructive thought loops early, you stop feeding the fire. You know, it's like noticing smoke before the house is burning down. You have to catch it early, nip it in the bud. I started doing something simple. I began watching how I talk to myself every day. When I caught destructive spirals starting, I interrupted them. Not with fake positivity, not with denial, just with something slightly more balanced. For instance, instead of saying, this day is horrible, I would say, today is gray, but my whole life isn't. And instead of, I can't stand winter, I'd say, I don't like winter, but I can still take care of myself in it. You see, it's small shifts repeated consistently. Because once I saw it clearly, I understood depression is a process, and processes can be interrupted. Think of your mind like a dashboard. Those negative thoughts are warning lights. Don't wait until it becomes a crash. 11 years ago, I finally broke that cycle. Oh, finally. The coffin didn't disappear overnight, but the lid stopped slamming shut every winter. I could breathe again, function again, live again, although it was surviving, actually, honestly. Winter didn't become perfect, but it became manageable. Now, this doesn't mean depression is your fault. Not at all, you know. It simply means most of us were never taught how to work with our own minds. You're not broken. You're not weak. You just might be missing tools. If everything feels heavy, if everything takes too much effort, I understand you because I had exactly the same. So you're not alone. There are heaps, millions of people like that feel like that. And you're not doomed to feel this way forever. Because, when you learn how to get out of that coffin, you don't just change your own life, you show up differently, stronger, clearer, more in control. And for me, this is where it becomes real. This isn't just about feeling better. This is about what happens after you take your mind back. Because the more people who break out of that coffin, the more people there are that can actually change something in this world. That's the mission behind the B brand, to help billions of people who feel stuck, lost, or different, to help them understand themselves and break their patterns and take back control of their lives. And the bigger this becomes, the bigger the impact becomes. More reach means more transformed people, means more real change. Because the B brand stands for something bigger than content, much bigger. Our vision is clear: a world with no more homeless street children and no abused animals. Wouldn't that be great, eh? That's why 75% of everything this brand earns goes directly toward making that real. Until one day, no child is left alone on the street and no animal is left to suffer without protection. Wouldn't that be awesome? But that doesn't start somewhere else, it starts right here with you. So if this hit you, don't just watch and move on, subscribe to the channel, because every single person who joins pushes this mission and vision forward. Hit the like button, not for me, but for the next one, because growth here means more homeless children helped and more animals protected worldwide. And if you ever feel trapped in your own mind, say it in the comments, because your voice might be the reason someone else doesn't feel alone tonight. It's like William James said: with the right mind habits, your mind can become your greatest ally. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one, eh? Bye.